Before we begin, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you love spine-tingling stories. It lets me know you want more true creepy tales like this one. Now dim the lights and settle in. What you're about to hear is my first-person account of a Halloween night I'll never forget. Have you ever done something harmless with friends that spiraled into danger? It was Halloween night in suburban America. I was in high school, too old for trick-or-treating, but not ready to give up the mischief. We called ourselves the Fab Five: Jace, Amber, Parker, Dara, and me. We tried trick-or-treating anyway. Some folks asked, "Aren't you a little too old for this?" They weren't wrong. That awkward moment stuck in my head, so I suggested something else. A haunted house. That's where everything went wrong. Amber's eyes lit up. She'd heard of this mobile haunted house, a rich family that buys a different old house every year, renovates it into a horror maze, and invites people in for the scare of their lives. We were bored teenagers starved for excitement. What could possibly go wrong? We all piled into Jace's car and drove toward a part of town we didn't usually visit. The house was a 2-story Victorian with a wraparound porch, iron chains, and barred windows like a prison. Halloween decorations were everywhere, but not the kind you get from Walmart. A girl stood bound to a post, her intestines spilling out like wet ropes. 2 boys hung nearby, blood-soaked band tees barely covering them. We laughed nervously. Of course it was fake, right? Then a giant man with stringy hair and yellow nails startled me from behind. I nearly tripped. He introduced himself as Mr. Myers. He grinned and said, "We outdid ourselves this year." Even back then, something in my gut twisted. But peer pressure is powerful. We each handed over $10 and walked into the unknown. The rules we should have heeded. Inside, 3 paths were marked with yellow bricks. Mr. Myers gave us rules. Stay on the path. Sign the waiver. Choose a weapon. It all felt like part of the act, immersive horror. But the way he said, "Don't step off the path," made my skin crawl. We picked our weapons. Jace took a baseball bat. Amber chose a long staff. Dara grabbed a utility belt. Parker found a sword. I was left with a plastic pitchfork. Mr. Myers winked. "That pitchfork has long reach," he said. He handed us waivers. My friends barely skimmed it. I actually read it. When he looked at me and quietly repeated, "Stay on the path," it felt like a plea, not part of the show, but a warning. That moment, I believe it saved my life. Amber and Jace took the stairs. Dara and Parker headed for the basement. I was alone on the main floor. The yellow path took me into a filthy kitchen. A voice snarled, "Where's my dinner?" The stench of rotting meat and cigarettes choked me. Maggots wriggled beneath my shoes. And then I saw what they were feeding on. An old woman's corpse lay twisted in the corner, her flesh torn open, maggots pouring from the wounds. Jars lined the walls, human organs inside. Eyes, hearts, intestines, fingers, all real. Then he stepped out, a man with a pudgy belly and a butcher's apron. "I'm building the perfect person," he said proudly. "Can you tell what's missing?" Then he leaned in and whispered, "I've always liked blondes." I ran. I slipped, lost my footing, and fell off the path. He lunged. Instinctively, I jabbed the pitchfork, my plastic pitchfork, and it transformed. It turned into cold, solid metal and drove through his chest. He dropped. I backed away, breath ragged. But then he sat back up, pulled the pitchfork from his chest, and continued chopping meat like nothing happened. That's when I knew this wasn't a haunted house. Shaken, I followed the yellow path into a hallway lined with vintage wallpaper, red leaves swirling upward. A sign read, "You must go up to get down. No stairs, no door." Until I saw one patch where the leaves spiraled differently. Suddenly, a door creaked open. A little boy peeked out. "Push the orange one," he whispered. "Don't get trapped here." He begged me to stay on the path. His room was covered in planets and rocket ships. like a time capsule from a lost childhood. Then he shoved me and screamed, "She's coming! Run!" A guttural wail ripped through the hall. Blood trickled from my nose. The sound made my ears ring. I pressed the orange leaf. A staircase emerged, and I ran. Up, heart hammering, barely breathing. The bedroom upstairs was straight out of a slasher flick. Cracked porcelain dolls stared down from the shelves. A sign said, "Look under the bed." I didn't want to, but I did. A pale creature with black eyes and too many teeth launched out and grabbed me. I screamed. No one came. Pinned down, I flailed until my hand hit something. A baseball bat. Jace's. I fought, but it was too strong. Then I remembered the grappling hook I'd pocketed earlier. I fired. It pierced the creature's chest and pinned it to the wall. It hissed, then slithered back into the shadows. Gone. I caught my breath. For a second I felt safe, but just down the hall, Jace lay torn apart. The bat hadn't saved him. I found Amber sobbing at the top of the stairs. "We've been going in circles," she cried. "We're stuck." I turned a strange doorknob, and the floor vanished beneath us. We crashed into the basement. That's where Parker was. He said Dara opened a chained coffin, wanted to play Buffy. A creature inside lunged and tore her throat out. Parker killed it, but something changed in him. He said he felt dead, but still moving. He looked at me, eyes wet. "I love you," he whispered. I froze. I'd crushed on him for years. In the middle of this nightmare, those words broke me. "I love you too," I said. He smiled, and then his eyes turned black. "Fangs, claws, run," he growled. "Don't look back." He shoved me forward, then sank his teeth into Amber. The door slammed shut behind me. Bloodied, limping, I finally reached a doorway. She stood there, a woman in white. She helped me up, put my arm in a sling, and calmly whispered over Parker's screams. She told me the truth. The house isn't just a haunted attraction. It's a trap, a containment zone. Creatures slip into our world once a year, on Halloween. She and her husband lure teenagers like us to bait and trap them. They do this every year. New town, new house, same mission. The boy upstairs? A ghost from years ago. The police know. They cover it up. Then she looked me dead in the eye and said, "We always know who survives. It's never strength, it's heart. You listened. You tried to save them. You're good." She opened the door. A police car waited outside. No questions, just silence. He drove me home. Every October, people dress up, go to haunted houses, and chase a thrill. But me? I see intestines on a post. I smell rotten meat. I hear Parker whisper, "Run." This story isn't just about monsters. It's about the friends who ignored me, mocked me, left me. It's about a boy who turned into a beast and still tried to protect me. It's about how sometimes the villains have purpose and the heroes carry guilt. So, what would you have done? Would you have signed the waiver? Would you have stayed on the path? Do you think Mr. and Mrs. Myers were heroes or monsters? Tell me in the comments. Share this with friends who love horror. Maybe they'll think twice before walking into that sketchy haunted house this Halloween. Subscribe for more real stories that stick with you long after they end. And remember, stay safe, stay curious, and never ignore a warning.